Ma cosa significa questa roba? Non capisco niente.
The fork
Mi
batters
sento
against porcelain.
totalmente fuori
Not
luogo.
dropped, thrown. Luciana Calderi's hand trembles above the white tablecloth, her fingers curled into a fist so tight the knuckles bleach. The menu in front of her might as well be hieroglyphics. English words swim across cream-colored cardstock, each letter mocking her, reminding her she doesn't belong in this country, this restaurant, this life her husband built without asking if she wanted it. Across the table, Vittorio doesn't look up from his phone. His thumb scrolls. His jaw works a piece of bread he isn't tasting. The candle between them flickers, casting shadows that make his face look carved from marble, beautiful, cold, unreachable. Around them, the dining room hums with wealth that doesn't announce itself. Crystal catches light, leather chairs exhale under shifting weight, conversations drift in practiced tones, where every word costs something and means less. But if you want to see how this moment changes everything, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss what happens next. Luciana's breath catches. She tries to speak, tries to form the English words that might translate what she needs, but her throat closes. The younger couple 3 tables over glances at her, then away. The waiter near the kitchen pretends not to notice. She is invisible here. Worse, she is an inconvenience. That's when the girl appears. Not announced, not summoned, just there, suddenly at Luciana's elbow, holding a water glass and wearing a server's uniform that's been laundered so many times the black has faded to charcoal. Signora, se preferisce, posso spiegare il menu in italiano. Italian. Not the textbook kind, real Italian, with the rolling cadence of someone who learned it at a grandmother's knee. Luciana's entire body goes still. Her eyes snap to the girl's face. She searches for something, recognition, mockery, impossibility, but finds only quiet patience. Her hand shoots out. Her fingers wrap around the girl's wrist with the desperate grip of someone drowning who just felt solid ground. Grazie, Luciana whispers, her voice cracking. Grazie, tesoro. Da quanto tempo non sentivo più la mia lingua. The girl doesn't pull away. She shifts her weight and stays. Nessun problema, signora. Sono qui. Vittorio's thumb stops moving. The phone screen goes dark in his hand. He simply stares at this stranger in a faded uniform who just gave his wife something he hasn't managed in 6 months. Relief. The girl begins explaining the menu. She points to dishes, describes ingredients, adjusts her vocabulary when Luciana doesn't understand a Zalwe term. She laughs softly when Luciana makes a joke about overpriced fish. Vittorio watches his wife's face transform. The tension in her shoulders melts. Her hands flatten on the table. She asks questions. She nods. She smiles. Actually smiles. In a way Vittorio hasn't seen since they left Italy. Something in his chest cracks. Not breaks. Just cracks. Like ice beginning to thaw. The maitre d' appears. Miss Russo, table 7 needs... "One moment," the girl says, still looking at Luciana. "Now, Miss Russo." The girl's jaw tightens. She finishes her sentence to Luciana, squeezes the older woman's hand once, and straightens. "Torno subito, signora." But she doesn't come back. Luciana stares at the menu, her fingers tracing words she still can't read. But this time, she isn't trembling. Vittorio sets his phone down. He watches the girl move through the dining room. Quick, efficient, practiced. She doesn't look their way again. He flags the maitre d'. "Who is she?" "One of our servers, Elara Russo." "Does she speak other languages?" The maitre d' hesitates. "I believe so." "Get me her file." Luciana touches Vittorio's hand across the table. "Lei è gentile." Vittorio looks at his wife. Really looks at the way her eyes have cleared, the way her breathing has steadied. "Si," he says quietly. "Lo è." But what he doesn't say is that kindness terrifies him, because he's seen her before, not in person. In a file, a rejection file. Elara's apartment smells like burnt coffee and detergent that didn't rinse out. She drops her keys on the counter and kicks off shoes that pinch. The clock blinks 11:47 p.m. in angry red. She has 6 hours before her next shift at the diner on Amsterdam. The radiator clanks. Steam hisses through pipes that haven't been updated since 1973. Alara fills a glass with water that tastes like rust and drinks it standing, because sitting means admitting how tired she is. Her phone buzzes. She ignores it. The scar on her wrist itches. She scratches it without thinking. The thin white line runs from her pulse point to the base of her thumb. It's from signing away her college fund to pay for her grandmother's nursing home when Medicare ran out. Alara was 19, a sophomore at NYU, linguistics major. She spoke 4 languages and was learning a 5th. Then Nona got sick. Then the bills came. Then Alara made a choice, and NYU became a memory filed under things that don't belong to her anymore. Her phone buzzes again. Marlene, the other night server. Manager wants to see you tomorrow before shift. Didn't say why. Alara's stomach drops. She stayed too long at that table. She spoke Italian when she should have kept moving. She made herself visible. She texts back, okay. She pulls her tips from her pocket. $63. She divides it into 3 envelopes. Rent, utilities, food. The food envelope gets $12. Her laptop sits closed on the wobbly table. She opens it and checks email. 17 unread. 16 are spam. 1 is from a staffing agency. Thank you for your interest, but we've moved forward with other candidates. She closes the laptop. She doesn't cry. She stopped crying 2 years ago when she realized tears don't pay rent. Her phone buzzes again. An email notification. Application to Calderi Global Status Update. She applied 2 years ago. Junior administrative role. She'd been perfect for it. Fluent in 4 languages. She'd aced the assessment. And then nothing, just silence. Now, 2 years later, there's an email. Dear Miss Russo, thank you for your application to Calderi Global. After careful review, we regret to inform you that your qualifications do not meet our current needs. 2 years. They waited 2 years to send a rejection template. She laughs. It's not a happy sound. She closes the email, shuts the laptop, walks to her bedroom and sets her alarm for 5:30 a.m. She doesn't think about the old woman who grabbed her wrist. She doesn't think about the man who watched her like she was a problem he couldn't solve. She thinks about 6 hours of sleep and whether the diner will have day-old bagels. That's survival. That's all she has left. Vittorio's office sits on the 47th floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame Manhattan like a painting. Steel beams, glass walls, furniture that costs more than most people's cars. Everything designed to remind you that power has a price. He stands at the window, hands in pockets, watching the city move below. From up here, it all looks manageable. His phone buzzes, 3rd time in 10 minutes, probably Ronan. The door opens without a knock. Ronan Hale walks in carrying a tablet, cold, ambitious, disloyal beneath polish. Got the file you asked for? Ronan says. Vittorio doesn't turn. Read it. Alara Russo, 24, born in Brooklyn, raised by her grandmother after her parents died, attended NYU for 2 years, left without completing. Currently employed at Marcello's. Before that, hotel in Midtown, bookstore in the Village. She's applied to 43 jobs in 2 years. Rejected from 42. 43, Vittorio repeats. She's overqualified for most. Undercredentialed for the rest. She's stuck. Did she apply here? Ronan hesitates. 2 years ago, junior administrative assistant, languages division. And? Rejected. Automatically. Algorithm flagged her for incomplete education. Vittorio crosses the room slowly. Pull up the rejection rate for that division. Last 3 years. Ronan's fingers move. Numbers appear. He doesn't speak. Say it, Vittorio says. 87% rejection rate for applicants without 4-year degrees. How many languages did she speak? 4 verified. And we rejected her. The system rejected her. It's efficiency. We process thousands. She speaks 4 languages. We pay contractors triple what we'd pay an employee. And we rejected her because a computer said she didn't check the right box. Ronan's expression hardens. If we make exceptions, the system breaks down. People like her. The words land heavy. Vittorio takes the tablet. scrolls through Alara's file, the application she submitted, thorough, professional, desperate. At the bottom, asterisk, rejected does not meet minimum requirements. Who approved this algorithm? Ronan's voice flattens. You did? 3 years ago, you signed off on every parameter. Vittorio says nothing, because Ronan's right. His phone buzzes, his assistant. Mr. Calderi? Your wife's doctor called. She missed her morning appointment. His stomach drops. Send a car to the apartment, now. He's out the door before Ronan can follow. The penthouse is quiet when he arrives. Too quiet. Luciana? No answer. He finds her sitting on the bed edge, still in her nightgown, staring at a framed photo. Florence, 30 years ago. They're standing in front of the Duomo, smiling. You missed your appointment, Vittorio says quietly. She nods. Lo so. Why? She looks at him. Her eyes are tired. Perché sono stanca di essere malata in una lingua che non capisco. Because I'm tired of being sick in a language I don't understand. Vittorio's throat tightens. He sits beside her. I'm sorry, he says. Non è colpa tua. But they both know it is. Not the cancer, the loneliness. She touches his hand. La ragazza di ieri sera. Chi era? The girl from last night. Who was she? Nessuno, he says. Era nessuno. Nobody. But even as he says it, he knows it's a lie, because nobody doesn't speak 4 languages. Nobody doesn't apply to 43 jobs. Nobody doesn't keep going after 42 rejections. Alara Russo isn't nobody. She's exactly the kind of person his system was designed to erase. Ronan's office is smaller but colder, everything white. Vittorio closes the door. Pull up hiring data for the last 5 years, all divisions, rejection rates by demographics. Ronan doesn't move. Why? Because I asked. Ronan types, a projection appears. Graphs, charts, numbers that don't lie. Candidates without degrees, 87% rejection. Candidates over 40, 73%. Ethnic surnames, 69%. Caregiving gaps, 91%. This is efficiency, Ronan says calmly. We prioritize candidates most likely to succeed based on historical data. Pattern recognition. Is that what you call erasing people? I call it protecting the bottom line. You want employees who stay, perform, don't require training. The algorithm identifies. The algorithm rejects people based on criteria that have nothing to do with whether they can do the job. Ronan leans back. You approved this system 3 years ago. You stood in a board meeting and said, emotion doesn't scale, systems do. I gave you efficiency. You gave me erasure. I gave you what you asked for. Silence. Vittorio stares at the numbers, at his signature authorizing every filter. Who else has access to this data? Ronan's eyes narrow. Myself, you, compliance. Why? I want the full logs, every application rejected, every manual override, every exception. That's thousands of files. Then start pulling them. Ronan stands. You're making a mistake. If you question the system now, you open the door to lawsuits, inefficiency. Her name is Alara Russo. She applied with skills we pay 6 figures for. She was rejected because a computer decided she didn't matter. How many more, Ronan? You're being emotional. Maybe I should have been 3 years ago. Ronan picks up his tablet, swipes, turns the screen. Exceptions, 23 manual overrides. People who didn't meet criteria but got through anyway. Vittorio scrolls. The names blur. Then patterns emerge. Sons of board members, nephews of investors, daughters of executives. Not a single name like Alara. You've been running a favor factory. Ronan doesn't deny it. I've been running a business. Those exceptions come with value. That's how the world works. Vittorio hands the tablet back. You're right about one thing. I approved this. I own that. But what I'm looking at isn't efficiency. It's corruption. And it stops today. Ronan's face goes blank. You're going to regret this. Maybe. But I'll regret staying silent more. He walks to the door. Ronan's voice follows. She won't thank you. People like her don't understand how companies work. You bring her in, she'll fail or resent you. Either way, you lose. Vittorio looks back. You're wrong about her. How do you know? Because she didn't ask for anything. She just did what was right when no one was watching. He opens the door and keeps walking. The hospital smells like antiseptic and waiting. Luciana sits in the oncologist's office, hands folded, staring at a wall chart she can't read. Vittorio stands by the window, pretending to look at his phone. Dr. Patel enters. Miss Calderi, Mr. Calderi. She sits, opens a folder. I have your latest scan results. Luciana nods. The treatment is working, but slower than hoped. The mass hasn't grown, which is good, but it hasn't shrunk significantly. We need to discuss next steps. Vittorio translates quietly. Luciana listens. Her face doesn't change. We can increase dosage, which may improve results but will increase side effects, or maintain the current course and monitor. Vittorio translates. What does she want to do? Dr. Patel asks. He looks at his wife. She's staring at the chart, not reading it, just staring. What do you want? He asks in Italian. She doesn't answer right away. When she does, her voice is steady. Voglio andare a casa. I want to go home. We are home. No, she looks at him. Voglio andare a casa. In Italia. Vittorio's throat tightens. He translates. She wants to return to Italy. Dr. Patel nods slowly. That's understandable, but travel at this stage is complicated. Treatment schedule, monitoring, access to specialists. I know. They finish the appointment, schedule the next one, leave with prescriptions and a quiet understanding that Luciana isn't asking because she thinks it'll cure her. She's asking because she's tired of fighting in a language that doesn't belong to her. That evening, Vittorio stands in his office, staring at his phone. His assistant sent Ilara's contact information an hour ago. He can't just call her, can't show up, can't go to the restaurant. His phone buzzes. Unknown number. Or, this is Ilara Russo. Your assistant said you wanted to speak. Is this about the other night? If I did something wrong, I apologize. Vittorio stares. She thinks she's in trouble. You're not in trouble. I wanted to talk about something else. Would you be available to meet? 3 dots. Asterisk. I work doubles most days, but I have Sunday morning free. Sunday works. Cafe on 5th and 23rd. 9 a.m.? Yes, thank you. He sets the phone down. He's just agreed to meet a woman he rejected 2 years ago without knowing her name. Sunday morning, Vittorio reaches the cafe early, orders coffee he doesn't drink. Ilara arrives exactly at 9. Jeans and a sweater, hair pulled back, no makeup. She looks tired. She spots him, hesitates, walks over. Mr. Calderi? Vittorio, please. He gestures to the chair. Thank you for coming. She sits, doesn't order, just folds her hands and waits. 2 years ago, you applied to Calderi Global. You were rejected. I know. The rejection was automated. An algorithm flagged your application because you didn't have a completed degree. No human reviewed your qualifications. Her expression shifts. Surprise. I've been reviewing our hiring practices. The system is flawed. It filters out people who could contribute. People like you. She watches him, waiting. I'd like to offer you that position now. Full benefits, salary commensurate with your skills. Silence. Why? She asks quietly. Because you're qualified. I was qualified 2 years ago. Why now? Because I was wrong, and I'm trying to fix it. She studies him. Is this because of your wife? He doesn't lie. Yes. I appreciate the offer, but I can't accept. Vittorio blinks. Why not? Because I don't want to be someone's guilt project. I want a job because I earned it. You did earn it 2 years ago. Then why didn't you recognize it? Why did it take me speaking Italian to your wife for you to notice I exist? He doesn't have a good answer. You're right, he says finally. I didn't notice you. I should have. I can't undo that. But I can offer you something now. I don't want your guilt. Then what do you want? She leans forward. I want you to change the system, Not for me, for everyone like me. The people who get filtered out. The people who are good enough but never get the chance. You want to fix something? Fix that. Vittorio stares. This woman just told a billionaire his apology isn't enough. I'll do it. You'll do what? Change the system. Rebuild the hiring process. Her expression softens. And you think that'll fix it? It's a start. She looks out the window, then back. If you mean it, I'll help, but not as an employee, as a consultant, someone who knows what it's like on the other side. Deal. They shake hands. As she stands to leave, she pauses. Your wife, how is she? She wants to go home. Ilara nods, then take her home. She walks away. Vittorio sits there and realizes he just got told what to do by someone who works at a restaurant. And she was right. Do you think Vittorio will actually change, or is Ilara walking into another broken promise? Drop your thoughts below. The invitation arrives Thursday. Cream cardstock. Embossed lettering. Asterisk Calderi Global Annual Gala. Saturday, 7 p.m. The Metropolitan Club. Attire, formal. Handwritten note clipped. Asterisk, I meant what I said. This is where it starts. Come see what we're building. V. Ilara reads it in her hallway under buzzing fluorescent light. Saturday, 2 days away. She doesn't own anything formal. Her phone rings. Vittorio. Did you get the invitation? I can't go. Why not? I don't belong there. Neither do most people who will be there. They just pretend better. I have nothing to wear. There's a boutique on Madison. Bill my account. Get what you need. I'm not taking your money. It's not charity, work expense, you're consulting. She closes her eyes. Why do you want me there? Because I'm telling 300 wealthy people we're changing how we hire. I need someone in that room who understands why it matters. Pause. Fine, but I'm not staying long. Saturday evening, she stands in a mirror wearing a dress that costs 2 months' rent. Black. Simple. Elegant without screaming. The boutique woman helped pick it, plus shoes that don't pinch. She looks like someone else, someone who belongs. The thought makes her stomach turn. The car arrives at 6:30. Leather seats, tinted windows. Her neighborhood disappears. The Metropolitan Club sits on Fifth Avenue like it owns the block. Stone columns, marble steps, doormen who evaluate before you reach the entrance. Inside, the noise hits, layered conversations, practiced laughter, champagne clinking. Crystal chandeliers throw light across a room the size of her apartment building. Servers move between guests. Everyone looks comfortable. Ilara stands near the entrance, clutching her purse. You came. Vittorio appears, tuxedo, relieved expression. Now we survive the next 2 hours. He offers his arm. She takes it for balance. They move through the crowd. He introduces her. Names she forgets immediately. Investors, board members. Everyone smiles. Everyone's eyes ask, asterisk. Who is she? Ilara stays quiet, observes, notices things. The way women evaluate jewelry. The way men position in circles that exclude. The way servers are invisible. You look uncomfortable, Vittorio says. I am. Good. You still have perspective. A woman approaches, mid-50s, diamond necklace, sharp smile. Vittorio, you didn't say you were bringing a guest. This is Ilara Russo. She's consulting on hiring reform. The woman's smile doesn't change, but her eyes do. They calculate worth in half a second. How wonderful. The word means nothing. I'm sure you'll find our processes fascinating. She moves away. Who was that? Ilara asks. Diane Hartfield, board member, hates change. She didn't like me. She doesn't like anyone who threatens the status quo. A man joins them, younger, sharper, navy suit, smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Vittorio, heard you're making an announcement. Ronan, enjoying the evening? So, this is Ronan. Ilara studies him, the way he stands too close, the way his gaze lingers. Who's your friend? Ilara Russo, helping us restructure hiring. Ronan's smile widens. Restructure, polite word for what you're planning? It's accurate. Is it? Ronan looks at Alara. Tell me, Miss Russo, what qualifies you to advise a multi-billion-dollar company? The question hangs. Other conversations slow. People listen. Alara meets his gaze. I got rejected by one. That gives me perspective you don't have. Ronan's smile freezes, then returns, colder. Bitterness disguised as insight. Ronan. Vittorio's voice drops. But Ronan turns to the small crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of Calderi Global. We're taking advice from people who couldn't get hired. I'm sure this will end brilliantly. Someone laughs, nervous. Alara's face burns. Vittorio's hand touches her elbow. Light. Grounding. Excuse us? He guides her toward the terrace. They step outside into cold air. I should have warned you about him. Alara leans against the railing. The city spreads below. He's right. I don't belong here. I'm not qualified. You're more qualified than half that room. Because I got rejected? That's not a credential. Understanding what it feels like to be erased is. She looks at him, at the tension in his jaw, the exhaustion around his eyes. Why are you doing this? Really? He doesn't answer right away. Stares at the city. Because my wife is dying, and I spent 6 months giving her everything except what she needed. Doctors, apartments, money, but not comfort. Not home, and a stranger in a restaurant did in 10 seconds what I couldn't in 6 months. He turns to her. So, yes, this started because of guilt, but it's not about guilt anymore. It's about realizing I built something that works perfectly and destroys people. I don't know how to fix it, but you do. The terrace doors open. Staff member. Mr. Calderi? They're ready. He looks at Alara. Will you stay? She wants to say no, but she thinks about the woman who grabbed her wrist. I'll stay. They go back inside. The crowd is gathered near a small stage. Conversations fade. Vittorio walks to the microphone. Alara stays at the edge. Thank you for coming. I want to talk about something we don't discuss. Failure. Murmurs ripple. 3 years ago, I approved a hiring system designed for efficiency. Smart, fast, effective. It filtered thousands and selected the best based on data. Pause. It also erased people, good people, qualified people who didn't fit the algorithm's narrow definition. Diane shifts. Others exchange glances. I'm announcing we're changing that system, completely. Rebuilding from the ground up. Prioritizing people over patterns, skills over credentials, potential over pedigree. Silence. This will cost us. Time, resources, comfort of efficiency, but the cost of continuing is higher. We've been erasing people we should have been hiring. That ends now. Ronan steps forward. How exactly do you plan to implement this without destroying operational standards? Vittorio looks at him. By listening to people who understand what we've been doing wrong, starting with Alara Russo. Every head turns. Alara freezes. Miss Russo applied 2 years ago, rejected automatically. No human reviewed her qualifications. No one saw she speaks 4 languages. No one cared she's exactly what our division needs. The system decided she didn't matter. He looks at Alara. The room follows. She's here because I asked her to help fix what we broke. Not as an employee, as someone who knows what it costs when systems prioritize efficiency over humanity. Ronan's face hardens. This is a mistake. Maybe, but it's mine to make. The room erupts. Not applause, chaos, arguments start. Diane pushes toward the stage. Alara stands frozen. She didn't ask for this, didn't want her story weaponized. But looking at Ronan's face, the cold fury, she realizes something. This isn't over. This is beginning, and she's standing in the middle whether she wants to be or not. What happens next? Will Alara survive what's coming, or did Vittorio just paint a target? Drop your thoughts below. If you're hooked, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support means everything, and your voice might inspire someone else. Let's keep this going. The email arrives at 6:47 a.m. Formal complaint ethics violation. Alara Russo. Alara's hands shake as she reads. Miss Russo, It has come to our attention that you leveraged a personal interaction with a company executive to circumvent standard hiring procedures. Additionally, allegations have been made regarding misrepresentation of credentials and inappropriate conduct during company events. We have initiated a formal investigation. You are required to attend a hearing Monday, 9 a.m. at our corporate offices. Failure to appear will be considered admission of guilt. Respectfully, Human Resources, Calderi Global. She reads it 3 times. Her hands won't stop shaking. She didn't leverage anything, didn't misrepresent anything. She went to a gala because Vittorio asked. Someone's turning it into something else. She tries calling Vittorio. Voicemail. She texts. No response. 7 a.m. Unknown number. Miss Russo? Rebecca Chen, New York Legal Observer. Running a story about nepotism in corporate hiring. Your name came up. Care to comment? What? No. Sources say you used a personal relationship with Vittorio Calderi to gain employment opportunities that you weren't qualified for. Accurate? Alara's stomach drops. That's not true. So you deny having a personal relationship? I didn't say. And you deny he offered you a position after a single interaction with his wife? It wasn't like that. Then how was it? Alara hangs up. 8 a.m. Her phone explodes. Texts from unknown numbers. Emails from reporters. Social media mentions. Someone leaked the story. Weaponized it. Headlines bloom. Billionaires, guild hire sparks ethics probe. Calderi Global under fire for favoritism. Waitress turned consultant accused of manipulation. Each article says the same thing. Alara manipulated Vittorio. Used his wife's illness. She's unqualified, opportunistic, a fraud. They include her photo from the gala. Someone took it without her knowing. The angle makes it look intimate. Yeah, comment sections are worse. Gold digger, typical. She slept her way in. Alara closes her laptop. Can't breathe. Her phone rings. Marlene from the restaurant. Alara, what the hell? Reporters outside Marcello's. Management's freaking out. I don't know. I didn't do anything. They're saying you lied about credentials, running a con. That's not true. Doesn't matter. Tony just put you on suspension. He doesn't want the drama. He's firing me? Not yet. But yeah, probably. The line goes dead. Alara sits on her bed and feels the walls closing in. She didn't ask for this, didn't want attention, didn't manipulate anyone. But someone decided she's the villain, and the world believed it in 3 hours. By noon, Alara can't leave her apartment. Reporters camp outside, not many, just enough to make leaving impossible. She watches through the window. They wait, talk, laugh, drink coffee. To them, it's just a story. To her, it's her life collapsing. Her phone buzzes, finally. Vittorio. I just saw the news. I'm coming. Don't talk to anyone. 10 minutes later, there's a knock. Vittorio stands there. No security, no suit, jeans and jacket, expression like he hasn't slept. I'm so sorry. She lets him in. Ronan did this, leaked everything, twisted it. Why? Because I threatened his power. He's showing me what happens when I step out of line. She laughs, bitter. So I'm collateral damage. No, you're the target, because hurting you hurts me. She sits. I'm going to lose everything. I won't let that happen. You can't stop it. It's already happening. Then we fight back. With what? I'm nobody. He has lawyers, money, power. Vittorio leans forward. The truth. The truth doesn't matter when people already decided you're guilty. It matters if we make them listen. She looks at him. At this man who started this with good intentions. You should have left me alone. Let me stay invisible. At least then I had a life. The words hit him. You're right. I should have thought about consequences, should have protected you. I failed you. But I'm not walking away. Maybe you should. I won't. She closes her eyes. So tired. What do you want me to do? Come to the hearing Monday. Tell them what happened. Let me handle Ronan. And if that doesn't work, pause. Then we burn it all down. Monday morning, Alara walks into Caldery Global as an accused fraud. Glass and steel and cold, security checks her ID twice, scans her like she's dangerous. She's escorted to a conference room. The door closes with a vault sound. 5 people wait. Diane Hartfield at the head. 2 lawyers, HR woman with tablet, Ronan at the far end, expression neutral. No Vittorio. Miss Russo, thank you for coming. Please sit. Alara sits. Cold chair, massive table. She feels like she's on trial. We're here to address serious allegations. Misrepresentation, manipulation, inappropriate conduct. These are not light matters. I didn't do any of that. Let's go through facts. Diane nods to a lawyer. He pulls up a document. Alara's application from 2 years ago. Every detail highlighted. Every gap marked red. You applied for a position requiring a 4-year degree. You indicated you attended NYU, but failed to disclose you hadn't completed studies. I didn't lie. The application asked if I attended. I did. I never said I graduated. Semantics. Truth. Ronan leans forward. Voice calm. Miss Russo, we're not here to attack you. We're trying to understand how someone with incomplete credentials ended up advising our company. I didn't advise anything. Vittorio asked me to consult because I understood what your system does. After you manipulated his wife. The words land like a slap. I helped an old woman read a menu. That's not manipulation. You saw an opportunity and took it. I saw someone who needed help, conveniently leading to a job offer. I didn't ask for that, but you accepted it. Alara looks around, at faces watching her like she's under a microscope, at Ronan's cold smile. Where is Vittorio? Mr. Caldery has recused himself due to conflict of interest, so he can't defend me. We don't need him to find truth. Ronan pulls out his phone. Taps. Audio plays. Alara's voice from the gala terrace. Why are you doing this? Really? Because my wife is dying. Recording stops. Sounds like you knew exactly what to say to get what you wanted. That's out of context. Is it? You recorded us? The terrace has security cameras, audio included, perfectly legal. Diane leans back. Miss Russo, I'm going to be direct. We believe you targeted Mr. Caldery using his wife's illness as leverage. We believe you misrepresented yourself, and we believe your presence is both unethical and damaging. Alara's vision blurs. She thinks about running, about giving up. But then she thinks about Luciana, about the relief in her eyes when she heard Italian, about all the people like her who got erased. She finds her voice. You want the truth? Her voice shakes, but it's loud. The truth is your system is broken. It rejects qualified people because they don't fit your narrow definition. It prioritizes pedigree over ability. It protects people like you and erases people like me. Ronan's smile fades. You're angry because Vittorio called you out, because he said out loud what you've been doing quietly for years. You don't care about ethics. You care about control, and I'm a threat. Miss Russo, I'm not done. She stands, hands flattened on the table. I didn't manipulate anyone, didn't lie, didn't scheme. I was kind to an old woman who needed kindness, and apparently that's so threatening you had to destroy me for it. Silence. So do what you're going to do. Fire me, blacklist me, ruin my reputation. But you can't change what happened. I helped someone. That's not a crime. That's humanity. And if you've forgotten what that looks like, that's your problem, not mine. She walks to the door. Ronan's voice stops her. You'll regret this. She looks back. I already do, but not for the reasons you think. She walks out, down the hallway, past glass walls and steel beams. Her hands shake, heart races. No job, no future. But walking down that hallway, Alara Russo feels something she hasn't felt in years. Free. Did Alara just throw away her only chance, or did she finally take control? What would you have done? Share your thoughts. Your perspective matters and might inspire someone facing their own impossible choice. Subscribe and turn on notifications because what comes next changes everything. Don't miss it. The elevator opens on the ground floor. Alara steps into the lobby and her phone buzzes. Vittorio. Where are you? She types. Leaving. It's over. Don't wait for me, please. She keeps walking. Through revolving doors. Into cold air. City noise swallows her. Her phone rings. She answers without stopping. Alara, wait. There's nothing to wait for. They made their decision before I walked in. I'm handling Ronan. I have evidence. Board meeting in 2 hours. I can fix this. She stops on the corner. I don't want you to fix it. Silence. What? I don't want to be your project. I don't want to be the person you save to prove you're different. I don't want a job because you feel guilty. I don't want any of this. Then what do you want? She closes her eyes. I want to go home. Where's home? I don't know anymore. Quiet. She can hear him breathing. I'm sorry. For all of it. For dragging you into this. For not protecting you. For thinking I could fix a broken system without understanding. It would break you first. It didn't break me. No, but I did. She opens her eyes. Watches a mother pull her child at the crosswalk. Watches a man check his watch. Watches life happen. You tried to help. That's more than most people do. It wasn't enough. No, but it was something. She hangs up. 20 minutes later, she sits in a coffee shop 3 blocks away. Not because she wants coffee, because she needs to sit, to breathe, to figure out what happens when the thing you didn't ask for falls apart. Her phone stays silent. For the first time in 3 days, no calls, no texts, no reporters. She orders black coffee, sits by the window, watches people rush past. The barista brings her order. Long day? Alara almost laughs. Something like that. Hang in there. Tomorrow's always better. The barista walks away before Alara can tell her that's not always true. Her coffee goes cold while she stares at nothing. Her phone buzzes, an email. She shouldn't look, should delete it, but she opens it anyway. HR, subject, asterisk, final determination. Miss Russo, after careful review, we have determined that no formal disciplinary action will be taken at this time. However, we do not believe a consulting arrangement is in the best interest of either party. Effective immediately, your agreement with Caldery Global is terminated. We wish you well. No apology, no acknowledgement, just polite dismissal. You're not worth the trouble. She closes her laptop, drinks cold coffee, tastes nothing. Her phone rings, unknown number. She answers anyway. Alara, a woman's voice, older, warm, familiar. It takes a second to place it. Mrs. Caldery, si, tesoro, sono io. How did you get my number? My husband gave it to me. I hope that's okay. Of course. How are you? Luciana laughs softly, tired. I'm old. I'm sick. But I'm not calling about me. I'm calling about you. You don't have to. Vittorio told me what happened, what they did. Alara doesn't know what to say. I'm sorry. You helped me. You gave me something I needed when no one else thought to ask. And now you're suffering because of it. That's not right. It's not your fault. No, but it's not yours either. Alara blinks hard. She will not cry in a coffee shop. Tesoro. Can I tell you something? Of course. When I was young, I wanted to be a teacher. I loved books, loved language. But my father said women didn't need education. Said I should marry well and be grateful. So I did. I married well. I was grateful. And I spent 50 years wondering what I could have been if someone had told me I mattered more than what was expected. Alara closes her eyes. Don't do that. Don't let them tell you what you're worth. Don't let them make you small because it's easier. You are more than what they see, and someday they'll realize what they lost. Thank you. No, tesoro. Thank you for reminding an old woman that kindness still exists, that people still see each other. That's worth more than all the money my husband has. They talk for a few more minutes, about nothing important, about everything that matters. When they hang up, Alara sits and lets herself feel it. All of it. The anger, the hurt, the exhaustion. And underneath, something else. Relief. Because she doesn't have to pretend anymore. Doesn't have to fit into spaces not made for her. Doesn't have to be grateful for scraps. She's free. It feels terrible. It feels like possibility. That evening, her phone buzzes one more time. Wire transfer notification. Her bank account. $50,000. Memo, * consulting fee. You earned it, V. She stares at the screen. She should return it, should refuse it, should maintain her dignity. But sitting in her apartment that smells like burnt coffee, looking at a number that could pay rent for a year, she makes a different choice. She keeps it. Not because she's giving up. Not because she's selling out. Because she did earn it. Because she told the truth in a room full of people who profit from lies. Because she stood up when it would have been easier to stay quiet. And because sometimes accepting help isn't weakness, sometimes it's wisdom. She opens her laptop, starts searching. Not for jobs at companies like Caldery Global, not for positions that require her to fit into boxes. She searches for something different. Translation services, language schools, community centers that need people who speak more than English. Places where her skills matter, where her story isn't a liability, where being rejected doesn't define what she's worth. By midnight, she's filled out 6 applications. By 1 a.m., 3 more. She doesn't know if any will respond, doesn't know if this path will work. But she knows one thing. She's done being invisible. She's done being someone else's project. She's done letting other people decide what she deserves. From now on, Alara Russo writes her own story. And anyone who doesn't like it can get out of the way. Is this really the end for Alara and Vittorio, or is something bigger about to unfold? What would you do with that money? Drop your answer in the comments. Subscribe and turn notifications on because the final chapters are going to shake everything loose. Your support fuels these stories, and your voice might be exactly what someone else needs. Let's finish this together. The boardroom has never felt smaller. Vittorio stands at the head of the table, 15 board members in leather chairs. Diane watches with the expression of someone who's already decided. Ronan sits 3 seats down, posture relaxed. They think they've won. Thank you for coming on short notice. I have information you need to see. He nods to his assistant. The screen flickers. Documents, emails, financial records, hiring logs. For the past 18 months, someone has been manipulating our hiring system. Not for efficiency, for profit. The room shifts. Bodies lean forward. Our algorithms reject qualified candidates automatically. But 23 exceptions were made. Manual overrides that bypassed every filter. These 23 candidates all have one thing in common. They're connected to people who paid for placement. Diane's hands tighten on the armrests. Paid, one board member repeats. Yes, through consulting fees, advisory retainers, donations, all legal, all documented, all designed to hide what was really happening. We were selling positions. Ronan sits up. That's a serious accusation. It's a fact. Vittorio clicks. Bank statements appear. The money flows through 3 shell companies, all registered to the same person. He looks at Ronan. You. The room explodes. Voices overlap. Questions fire. Diane calls for order. Ronan's face goes blank. That's absurd. Those companies are legitimate. I've disclosed them. You disclosed them. But you didn't disclose what they were really for. You've been running a pay-to-play scheme, filtering out qualified candidates and selling their spots. Prove it. Vittorio nods. Audio plays. Ronan's voice recorded. She's qualified, but she doesn't have connections. Reject her. The Thompson kid's father sits on 3 boards. He's worth more. Another clip. I don't care if he aced the assessment. His family can't open doors. Another. Tell them we'll find a spot, but only if the donation clears first. Silence. Ronan's expression hardens. Those are out of context. Are they? I have 47 more recordings, emails, transaction records, testimony from 3 former employees you paid to keep quiet. He leans forward. You didn't just break company policy, you broke the law, and you did it while destroying people's lives. Diane stands. This board will convene an emergency investigation immediately. Ronan, you're suspended pending findings. You can't. I just did. Security will escort you out. 2 men in suits appear. They move toward Ronan. He stands slowly, looks at Vittorio. His smile returns. Cold. You think this changes anything? You think exposing me makes you a hero? You built this system, Vittorio. You approved every filter, every algorithm. I just learned how to profit from what you created. The words land heavy. Because he's right. You're right, Vittorio says. I built it, and now I'm tearing it down. Ronan laughs. Good luck. The board won't let you. Shareholders won't let you. The system is the only thing keeping this company profitable. Then maybe it shouldn't be. Ronan's smile fades. Security takes his arms. He doesn't resist. At the threshold, he looks back. You'll fail. And when you do, remember I told you so. The door closes. Silence. Then Diane speaks. We need to discuss next steps. I already know my next steps. I'm resigning. The room erupts. You can't resign. The company needs stability. The company needs change, and I can't provide it while defending my own legacy. He looks around the table. I built a system that prioritized profit over people. That created the environment Ronan exploited. That rejected hundreds because they didn't fit a narrow definition I approved. Pause. I can't fix that from the top. I can only dismantle what I built and let someone else rebuild it better. This is reckless. No, reckless was approving an algorithm that erases people. This is accountability. He walks toward the door, stops, looks back. I'm releasing a public statement tomorrow. Full disclosure, the corruption, the system failures, all of it. You can either get ahead of it or let it bury you. Your choice. He doesn't wait for a response. Just walks out, down the hall, into the elevator that carries him away from a life he spent 20 years building. His phone buzzes. His wife. Did you do it? He types, asterisk, yes. Good. Now come see me. We need to talk about going home. Vittorio arrives an hour later. She's sitting by the window, wrapped in a blanket, looking out at the city she never wanted. Luciana. She turns, smiles. Sit. He sits. They watch the city lights blink on as evening falls. I'm taking you home, to Florence, whenever you're ready. Her eyes fill. You don't have to. I do. I should have months ago. She reaches over, takes his hand. What about your company? I resigned. Her eyes widen. Vittorio, I built something that hurt people. I can't fix it from inside. I can only step away and let it become something better. She studies his face, sees something she hasn't seen in years. Peace. What will you do? I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. She squeezes his hand. I'm proud of you. The words break something in him. He leans forward, rests his head on her shoulder the way he did when he was small. I'm sorry. For all of it. For bringing you here. For not listening. For forgetting what matters. You remembered. That's what counts. They sit as the city darkens, as life continues below, as the world keeps turning. And for the first time in years, Vittorio Calderi stops trying to control what comes next. He just lets it come. Vittorio just walked away from everything. Was it courage or cowardice? And what about Alara? Will their paths cross again, or is this really goodbye? Share what you think happens next. Your theories might surprise you. Subscribe and turn on notifications because the final chapter brings everything full circle in a way you won't see coming. Your support means everything, and your voice here matters more than you know. 6 months later. Florence smells like rain and old stone, and something Luciana can't name but recognizes in her bones. Home. She sits in the courtyard of the villa Vittorio rented, small, modest by his standards, perfect by hers, watching water drip from terracotta roofs into gardens that have grown here for centuries. Her health hasn't improved. The cancer doesn't care what country she's in. But something else has changed. She stopped fighting, not given up. Just stopped resisting the inevitable, started accepting it, started finding peace in what time remains instead of rage at what time won't. Vittorio sits beside her, reading a book in Italian, something about architecture, nothing to do with business or profit or systems designed to scale. He looks different, lighter, like he put down weight he didn't know he was carrying. "Read to me," Luciana says. He does. His Italian is rusty but improving. He stumbles over words. She corrects him gently. They laugh. It's the kind of afternoon that doesn't demand anything, just exists. A knock at the courtyard gate interrupts. Vittorio frowns. We're not expecting anyone. He stands, opens the gate, freezes. Alara stands there, backpack over one shoulder, looking exhausted and uncertain, and somehow exactly right. "Hi." Vittorio just stares. "I know this is weird, showing up unannounced. I tried calling but your number's disconnected and I didn't know how else. How did you find me?" "Your wife. We've been emailing. She told me you were here and said I should visit if I was ever in Italy, and I'm teaching English in Rome now, so I thought..." She stops, breathes. "I can leave. This was probably terrible." "No, don't leave." Luciana appears behind him. Her face lights up. "Tesoro, you came." She pulls Alara into a hug. Alara hugs back, careful of fragility. "Come, sit. Tell us everything." They sit in the courtyard. Alara tells them about the last 6 months, about using Vittorio's money for a teaching certification course, about applying to language schools across Europe, about landing a position in Rome, teaching English and Italian to refugees. It's hard. The pay is terrible. The hours are long. But it matters. The students, they're trying to build new lives in a place that doesn't always want them, and I get to help. Vittorio listens, just absorbs the way she lights up, and then talking about work that means something. "What about you?" Alara asks. "Honestly, not much. I'm figuring out who I am when I'm not building empires. It's harder than I expected." "But better," Luciana adds. "Yeah, better." They talk for hours, about what happened after Ronan's arrest, about the class action lawsuit, about the company Vittorio walked away from and the life he's trying to build. As evening falls, Luciana stands slowly. "I'm tired. I'm going to rest." She kisses Alara's cheek, squeezes Vittorio's hand, disappears inside. Alara and Vittorio sit as darkness settles. Fireflies begin to appear. The air cools. "I'm glad you came," Vittorio says quietly. "Me too. I thought about reaching out 100 times, but I didn't know if you'd want to hear from me. Why wouldn't I? Because I dragged you into something that destroyed your life." "You didn't destroy my life. You disrupted it. There's a difference." He watches fireflies blink. "I owe you an apology. A real one. Not for failing to protect you, but for thinking I could fix you. For treating you like a project instead of a person. For not asking what you wanted before deciding what you needed. I accept your apology." Just like that? Just like that. Life's too short to hold grudges, and your wife taught me that. Comfortable silence, the kind that doesn't need filling. "What will you do now?" Alara asks. "Long term?" "I don't know. Maybe something small. Something that doesn't require conquering markets. Something that just helps." "That sounds good. What about you?" "Keep teaching, keep learning, keep reminding myself I don't need someone else's approval to know what I'm worth." Vittorio smiles. "You never did." Alara stands. "I should go. I have a train back to Rome in the morning." "Stay. I mean, if you want, we have space. And I know Luciana would love more time with you." She hesitates, then nods. "Okay, just for tonight." But tonight turns into a weekend, and the weekend turns into longer conversations about what matters, about systems that break people and how to build better ones, about forgiveness and second chances. When Alara finally returns to Rome, something has shifted. Not romantic, not transactional, just connection, built on honesty and understanding and respect. And they stay in touch. Emails, video calls, occasional visits. And slowly, quietly, they build something neither expected: friendship. A year later, Luciana passes away in her sleep, peaceful, surrounded by family, home in every way that matters. At the funeral, Alara speaks, in Italian. She talks about a woman who taught her that kindness doesn't need permission, that home is a feeling, that being seen is the greatest gift. Vittorio listens, doesn't cry, just holds onto every word. After, he finds Alara by Luciana's grave. The sun is setting. The air smells like cypress and earth. Thank you for being here, for knowing her, for reminding me what she tried to teach me. She was special. She liked you, a lot. I liked her too. They stand as the sun sinks, as shadows lengthen, as the world quiets. What now? Alara asks. Now I figure out how to honor her, not with buildings or foundations, just by living the way she wanted me to, with humanity, with humility, with heart. That sounds right. Vittorio looks at her, at this woman who appeared by accident and changed everything. Will you help me? Help you with what? Building something better. Not a company, something smaller, a school maybe, or a center. Something that helps people who get erased. Something that sees them. Alara considers, weighs it, thinks about all the ways this could go wrong, then thinks about all the ways it could go right. Okay, but only if we do it together, as equals. Deal. They shake hands, the same way they did in a cafe in New York, but this time it means something different. Not employer and employee, not savior and saved. Just two people who got broken by the same system and decided to build something better from the pieces. 3 years later, the center opens. Small. A renovated building in a neighborhood most ignore. No marble, no steel, just space and light and opportunity. They offer language classes, job training, resume workshops, everything designed by people who understand what it's like to be overlooked. Alara runs the programs. Vittorio handles funding. They argue constantly about strategy and priorities. It's messy, complicated, imperfect. It's everything his old company wasn't, and it works. First year, they helped 63 people find jobs. Second year, 112. By the third, they've expanded to 2 more cities. It's not an empire. It never will be. But it's something better. It's change. On the anniversary of Luciana's death, Vittorio and Alara stand in the center's courtyard. There's a plaque on the wall now, simple brass. Luciana Calderi Memorial Center, where everyone is seen. She would have loved this, Alara says softly. Yeah, she would have. They stand as people move through the building behind them. Students, teachers, lives being rebuilt one conversation at a time. Do you miss it? The old life, the power, the control? Vittorio thinks, really thinks. No, I don't miss what I had. I just wish I'd figured this out sooner. You figured it out when you were supposed to. Maybe. They walk back inside, to work that matters, to purpose without profit, to a life built on connection instead of conquest. And somewhere, in a courtyard in Florence where rain still falls on terracotta and gardens still grow, the memory of an old woman who spoke Italian to strangers lingers, reminding anyone who listens that the smallest acts of kindness can change everything, that systems can be rebuilt, that people can start over, that being seen is worth more than being successful, and that sometimes the heart you steal is your own. What did you think? Did this story hit the way you hoped, or did it surprise you? What would you do in Vittorio's position? Walk away or keep fighting from inside? And what about Alara's choice to build something new instead of climbing someone else's ladder? Drop your thoughts below because your perspective matters. These stories exist because of you, because you showed up, because you cared enough to see them through. If this one moved you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story that might just change how you see the world. Share this with someone who needs to hear that starting over isn't failure, it's courage. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Until next time, remember, you're worth more than any system says you are. Now go prove it.